Hey there friends, Nibs again. Out here in the garage today doing a little bit of goofing around, and we're right around the corner from Christmas here, and one of my local friends actually has some young children, asked me about my opinion on what might be a decent new first air gun for a new shooter, and we're talking about probably 8 to 10-year-old kids here. And I thought about it long and hard, and I do have some guns, I think, and I'm strictly restricting it to guns that we can get new production from like Walmart or Tractor Supply or any other farm store, big box store. And I have 6 guns here that I have actually picked up fairly recently, for the most part, and some of them I think are really good choices for even for a maybe a little bit older 12, 13-year-old. But we want to really stick down to, and I know I don't need to tell my friend this, but as a parent, I would never ever let an 8-year-old or a 10-year-old use one of these alone. Always needs parental supervision. So, but anyway, let me run through the gamut here real quick and tell you all the ones that I have, and then we'll go through each one fairly quickly and tell you what I think is good and bad about them that would make them. All these are great for an older teenager or an adult, but so the first one I have is the Ruger NXG. This is a 177 caliber. These are all 177 sized guns, but this is a pump up with a cocking lever here. It is a rifled barrel. They say you can shoot BBs or pistols or pellets out of it, but I would probably refrain from shooting BBs out of it. A lot of people tell me I'm crazy, that's just fine, but that's just me. So those are about $60 to $70 depending on where you buy them. The next one we have is the Daisy Model 880, the good old 880. This one also is a multi-pump, and it has a cocking lever here. I did put a red dot on it. It shoots just fine with open sights, but for me, I like a little bit of help. This one can shoot BBs or pellets as well. It is a rifled barrel though, so again, I would hesitate to shoot a steel BB down a steel bore, but that's your own prerogative. So the next one, I have a couple of modifications to it, but this is still a gun that's readily available. We have the Daisy Red Ryder. Everybody's seen a Red Ryder before. I have some buck rail accessories on here to let me put a red dot on there. BB only, smoothbore BB only, but that is definitely a choice. I think just about everybody's had a Red Ryder in their life. Along that same vein, this is one that is a little more scarce, but you can find these. You can actually find these on Amazon pretty easily. But our local, we have a farm supply store in the area here called Runnings, and they carry these. There's also like a girls edition of this too, Annie Oakley edition. But this is made by distributed by Air Venturi, and it's called the John Wayne Little Duke. So BB gun, very, very much. I think it was very much tailored after an older Red Ryder, and I like it. Has the big loop. All right, get moving right along though. Wouldn't be a true representation if I didn't have the Crosman 760 in here. This is a multi-pump, and it has a side cocking lever. It is smooth bore, so and it will take BBs or pellets. You load your BBs in this little door down here at the bottom, and then you can load them in You got a little lever here at the top, and you should tip it over. That way, I like that feature because you can have BBs stored down in this housing, but not have them up top here where they would be picked up by the magnet. And that way you can empty the feeding reservoir so you can run pellets and still have BBs in the gun. And then the last one that I have to take a look at is one I recently picked up. This is my Daisy Model 35, and they do make this in a black as well as this camo. Very inexpensive gun, but so those are the 6 we're going to talk about. So one of the things I considered, obviously, with an 8-year-old, or much smaller, 8 to 10-year-old, much smaller, so their length of pull is going to be a lot smaller than a full-grown man or even a older teenager. So a lot of these guns are intended to be youth-sized gun or adult-sized guns. Not saying that a youth couldn't shoulder them. But let's get right into the pros and cons. So this is the Ruger NXG, very accurate gun, and it actually the pumping action on it is very, very user-friendly. And right now it's not pumping because I didn't pull the lever back. But the one thing, it's not really huge. I think a small child could get this up to their shoulder and be able to reach the trigger still. But the one thing I think that's going to really preclude this from being on top of my list is the way this cocks. It's probably, I tried to do it with my, I tried to measure it with my Lyman trigger gauge, which goes up to about 12 or 13 pounds, and it just it didn't even, I couldn't pull it back with that. I was afraid I was going to break it. It went all the way up to maximum, and it wasn't even fully cocked. So, but that is the one thing that I think is really going to take this one off of my recommendation list. It is a great gun, and probably a kid that was 13, 14 years old with this in their hands would have no problem at all, and the length of pull would probably be very nice for them. It does have an automatic trigger, automatic safety. No problem with a can. But so for an 8 to 10-year-old, that cocking mechanism might be a showstopper for that one. Let's talk about a BB gun now. So we've got the Air Venturi Little Duke. This one again. So another thing that's a consideration for the kids is the weight. That NXG is very light. This guy's light. Kid could play with this, and the one thing, it's very short. The length of pull on this is probably one of the shortest guns here. I did throw a red dot on it. This does come with a little rail for an optic, so you can throw a little red dot on there for the kid too. It'd be really, really nice. Now this does take a little bit of cocking force. It's not terrible though. I think an 8 to 10-year-old could do this. You'd probably have to use a little bit of shoulder in it, but it could be a viable candidate. So I would guess, maybe 10 pounds to pull that up, but. Got enough power to go through a tin can, so that is a decent, viable choice. A little bit heavy on that cocking stroke, and so a younger kid who's not as strong, because I'm not precluding young girls as well, because some dads like to get their girls out and teach them how to shoot, but that's pretty cool. So. Let's move along. That was 2, so this is number 3. I like this gun. This is an awesome gun, the Daisy 880. It is a little bit long in the length of pole. I'm not sure that a younger kid would be able to reach out to get that trigger and be able to shoulder it properly. It does have a side cocking lever, but it's very easy to cock. And it's not hard to put a pellet in there. It's not the easiest one to put pellets in, but and the pumping stroke on it is super easy. Just, it doesn't seem to get any harder no matter how high you go with it. Four pumps is a very, very powerful pellet though. So it could be a very good choice. Just that length of pull, that's the only drawback for a smaller child like that. A teenager getting a little bit of growth into them, and this would be a fantastic first gun for a teenager like that. All right, let's talk about the Crosman 760. I really love the older 760s. I wish they had stuck with that profile, but this is what we got, and it's not a bad gun at all. That's my only complaint with this gun, as far as for an adult or a average person, is it just doesn't look like a 760. The 760s from 1965 all the way up until 2010, I think it was, looked like that. That kind of profile with that blocky square front. And there was really no need to change it. But so this one, so the one drawback, again, this one is got a nice little short length of pole. Would really fit the frame of a smaller child pretty well. But the one thing is, it's not nearly as bad as that Air Venturi, but the force to pull that back might be a little bit much for a small child. So it's not as bad. It's not nearly as bad as the Ruger NXG. And the pumping force is a little bit harder than the Daisy, but it is not hard at all. I think any child that's old enough to pick this thing up would be able to pump that. And it's got a lot of power for cans. So we've got 2 more to do. Let's take a look now. Everybody's got to have a Daisy Red Ryder, right? But I do like the older Red Ryders. I have an original version Red Ryder right here from, that's actually the second revision of the original model from 1947 to 49. But this one is, I think I've had this one for a year or so now. But this is the newer style, made in China, plastic trigger with a safety. So, but these are a good shooting gun. This is the youth model as well, so it's got a nice short length of pole. But they do have an adult version that had basically, the only difference is it's got a couple inch longer stock for an adult length of pole. But the one maybe drawback for this one, and it's not horrible. I think an average to above average 8 to 10 year old would probably easily be able to cock this. They probably would wear out and get tired after a short little bit though. Just minute a tin can all day long. I think this is probably the cheapest gun out of this whole lot here. So I haven't been mentioning prices too much. They're all, this one at Walmart right now I think is less than $35, but probably $35 to like $60 is the range that we're talking about here, without any of the optics or anything like that, obviously. But that is one drawback to these gravity feed jobbers, is sometimes they don't pick up a BB. enough power for a tin can. My one complaint with this, other than just a little heavy on the cocking stroke, is it's BB only. I would really want to get one that a child could kind of grow into, that would shoot both BBs and pellets. We've seen quite a few of them here already that are already really good choices. But I know you guys be like, well, you saved the other one for last, so that must be it. So this one here, I've really grown to love this little gun. This is the Daisy Powerline Model 35. First of all, I just like the looks of it. The camo is really pretty cool. I do have the Daisy Model 840, which is very much akin to this one. That is a single stroke pneumatic. Has the same basic cocking mechanism and everything as the 840. This one is a multi-pump gun. The nice thing about this one is it's smooth bore, so I wouldn't be afraid to shoot BBs out of it. And let me tell you, at 7 yards, this thing is laser accurate with BBs and with pellets. Shooting off a rest, I shot 7 BBs into the same hole across the garage here. It's not quite as laser accurate as my Daisy Model 499, but it is very close. And for the difference of like $50 compared to almost $200 or more, depending on where you buy them, I think this thing is an awesome bargain. So let's so it is a much shorter length of pole than the Ruger or the Daisy 880. So a young child can really shoulder this thing really easy. You can see my length of pole takes me out way, I could reach all the way out to the past the receiver on this thing and still get a length of pole on it. But it is big enough that this would keep a youth active in shooting. It could keep a youth active in shooting for you know, into years to come, because I mean, just like I said, I love this gun. It's absolutely fantastic and accurate. Basically the same kind of deal as loading a pellet into the 880. You got to get a little technique going there, but even just 3 pumps, which the pumping stroke doesn't feel like you're doing anything, but it has more than enough power for a tin can. And you can just throw a BB in there as well. And the thing I like about that is, even if you're single loading the BBs, there's a magnet in there that's going to grab that thing. It'll suck it right in. Three pumps went through both sides of that tin can without any problems at all. Even 2 pumps, I believe, will do it. Let's just give that a whirl. I'm shooting just below that the big hole there. And it hit exactly where I was hitting. So it looks like it went through everything. There you go. This is going to be my top pick. Probably the only ones that I would really shy away from is and again, I'm talking about for a very young child, would be the Ruger or the Daisy or the Crosman 760, just because they're so hard to cock. This one really easy to cock, just very easy, and just no effort at all there. And also the pumping stroke is just doesn't feel like you're doing anything. And I don't know, you know, but it pumps. It's got really good power. You can pump this up to 10 times. It does get a little stiff once you get up around 7 or 8 pumps. But for a youth like that, they wouldn't need anything more than 4 or 5 pumps at the most. It shoots great, 7-10 yards with 3 or 4 pumps. So you can find these on Amazon. You can find these at the Tractor Supplies and stuff like that. Walmart usually carries them. I haven't been able to find any more around my area, but and again, they're available. I think, I'm not sure. I did see an older video where somebody had one of these in pink as well. I haven't seen one of those for sale and retail, so they may not be available anymore. But they do still make them in this camo and the black at least. So anyway, a little bit longer video, but I hope it helps somebody out to make up a choice on what you're going to get for your youth. Again, safety glasses all the time, always adult supervision until they're much older in the teen years. That's very, very important. We don't want to have any mishaps or, you know, problems, people getting hurt. You know, some youth seem like they're very responsible, but when they get by themselves, they can be very impetuous. So we don't want to have any issues. So, but there you go. I would get this. Probably second choice would be the Daisy 880. Just might be a little bit cumbersome for the kid right off the bat to get a length of pole on them. But between those two, they'll keep a kid going into their late teens or even into their adulthood. You take care of this gun, keep the mechanism well oiled, and this gun will shoot for years and years and years. And they're easy enough to put new seals in here too, if it ever does wear out. So, anyway, hope everybody likes the video. Till next time, have a great day.